All right, so we have the square root of x transforms into the square root of 1/4 times negative 1/4 to the square root of 4 minus 2x plus 1. So we have to rearrange our equation before I identify the transformations. Negative 1/4 times the square root of 4 minus 2x plus 1. What are your thoughts on how I can rearrange this to get this into transformation form? Right, I factor the -2. If it helps you, always rearrange the terms so that your x value comes first. In fact, I'm going to do that because I think this makes things easier. If you turn this into the square root of, instead of 4 minus 2x, negative 2x plus 4. So the only thing I did is change the order. All right? And so you always factor out the coefficient of x. So Manav is right. We can factor out the -2. Like in the square root term, I factor out the coefficient of x, which is -2. No, I just factor out -2. So I factor out a -2. All right. What's -2x divided by -2? What's -2x divided by -2? No, x. -2x divided by -2. The -2's cancel out. It's x. What's 4 divided by -2? -2. So you have x minus 2 plus 1. So the square root, negative 1/4 times the square root of -2, x minus 2 plus 1. So I'm going to rewrite it so we can identify the transformations. Negative 1/4 square root of -2, x minus 2 plus 1. What's this negative sign? What does that indicate? A flip across what axis? X-axis, absolutely. Good job, Ezra. X-axis reflection. Because it is outside of the function. That negative sign. Reflection. All right. What about this 1/4? Compression, vertical or horizontal? All right, off the cell phones, please. Is it out? It's outside the function, so it is vertical. Vertical. Oh, it has nothing to do with it being negative or positive. If the term is outside of the function, it is a vertical transformation. If it's inside the function, it's horizontal. So we have a vertical compression by how much? 4 vertical compressions outside the function. Yes, if it is a fraction, it's compression. That's not true for horizontal. It's the opposite for horizontal. We have a vertical compression by 1/4. So we have an x-axis reflection and a vertical compression by 1/4. What about that negative in the -2? What about that negative in the -2? That's a y-axis reflection. So if your factored out term is negative, that indicates a y-axis reflection. And what about the fact that there is a 2 as your coefficient inside of the function? Yes. So now for horizontal compressions, all right, if your coefficient is inside the function, it does the opposite of what you do for outside the function. You have a horizontal compression by 1/2. Horizontal compression by 1/2. Yes. 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 So a horizontal compression is for whatever your coefficient is inside the function. It is 1 over that coefficient, and that's your transformation. So 1 over 2, that's a compression by 1/2. Yes. Yeah. Horizontal stretch by 2. All right. Now,
wait, if -2 was 1/2?
If this -2 here was 1/2, that'd be a horizontal stretch by 2. All right. What about this x minus 2? This one's one of the easier ones. Right by how much? Right 2. Right 2, and then what about this plus 1? Up 1. Yep. Those are transformations right here. We have an x-axis reflection, a vertical compression by 1/4, a horizontal compression by 1/2, a y-axis reflection, a shift right 2, and a shift up 1. This is definitely the hardest. This is the hardest transformation problem you can get because you have to literally identify every single type of transformation. X and y-axis reflection, horizontal and vertical compression. But notice, I want you to notice that you had to factor out that -2 before you found your horizontal shift.